comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So night 2 of Boyle and the Baby went only fractionally better than night 1. I got tricked into doing it 2 nights in a row. After the first night, I came down and I'm like, fuck, that was a tough night. Brutal night. I got no sleep. I feel like shit. I'm off kilter. And my wife was like, well, mum is probably going to sleep with the baby tonight. And I was like, I don't mind doing it again tonight. Like, I was throwing it out there with not even a fucking thought that anyone would let me go through another night like that. 2 nights in a row. And I was laying it on pretty thick as well. Like how tired I was, how much of a nightmare it was, how it's probably not even humanly possible to do it 2 nights in a row. I was laying it on real thick. And then I just slid in, just off the cuff. I said, I can do it again tonight. Like real quick and quiet, I said it. Like, yeah, I can do it tonight if no one else is going to do it. Yeah, I can do it tonight. Yeah, I can do it tonight. Maybe I can do it, yeah. It was just real nice and gentle off the cuff. I just wanted everyone to know that I'm willing to put in the hard yards to get this shit done. At no point did I think they would take me up on the offer. And then at about 8 o'clock last night, we're out for dinner. And my wife was like, so you prepared for another big night? Another big sleepless night? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, with the baby. And I'm like, I thought your mum is sleeping with her tonight. And she's like, no, you offered. So I just told mum to have another good night's sleep. And I'm like, you heard that. It wasn't like a real offer. I basically said it under my breath. And she's like, well, you're up again tonight. Get prepared. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. All right, I'm just going to have to do another fucking all-nighter. I trained for fucking 20 years doing all-nighters. What's 2 all-nighters in a row for me? Plus, they're not actually all-nighters. I'm still getting like 8 hours sleep in the morning anyway. But it's not the same in the morning. My circadian rhythm's all out of whack. My fucking body clock's fucking twirling. It throws me off, but the world needs heroes. So I'm like, all right, let's fucking do it. Just do an all-nighter. And it was pretty much the same as the night before with a little bit of improvement. So I watched a movie up until 1:30. That's when she wakes up. That's her first wake up in the night is 1:30. So I was watching Silence of the Lambs, and good movie. I hadn't really watched it since I was like 7. So I couldn't really remember a lot of it, but I did remember the parts that had scarred me for life. And I remember Jodie Foster being hotter. I think she got hotter as she got older. I'm not even too sure her acting was that great in Silence of the Lambs either. She's another actress where you're like, how did she get through the gates? How did she sly her way into the system? Was she blowing Harvey Weinstein? Maybe she was just 90s hot. It was 92, 93 or something like that, Silence of the Lambs. And yeah, she could have been 90s hot. A little bit of grungy vibe to her. She was hot for the time, I suppose. You know, like when you see 80s movies and 70s movies and they're wearing fucked up shit and they've got perms and shit and their characters are meant to be hot, but the style at that time hasn't aged well. And you're like, Jesus Christ, this could be a fucking Cougars night down at the local pub. But they were hot for their time. Fucking Jodie Foster. Anthony Hopkins, though, brilliant. A true actor. He really did nail that role. He was great in that. And it sounds like I'm trashing the woman and sticking up for the man, but I'm not, because the rest of the men in that movie were fucking shit. Anyway, who gives a fuck about the Silence of the Lambs? So at about 1 o'clock, I start hitting the wall, and I'm like, I'm not going to be able to do a fucking all-nighter here. I am fucking fucked. So I closed my eyes for a little bit and started drifting off. And then bang, 1:30, baby started crying. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is going to be a harrowing fucking night. So I pick up the baby, I sit up, I put her in the fucking like pin her down restraint position, quickly make some fucking milk. And I try and feed it to her and she's just not having a fucking bar of it. And I'm like, fucking baby, you've got to drink this. And she is refusing to. And I'm holding her with all my might and she's breaking out of my restraints. And I'm like, this is fucking chaos. So I had to get her in like a jiu-jitsu hold, and now she's completely awake. Her eyes are open, she's crying, she's screaming. I've got her pinned, and as she's opening her mouth, wailing, I'm putting milk in there, and she's half choking on the milk and half swallowing it. So it's going everywhere. There's milk all over her face. She's crying her fucking eyes out. She's looking into my eyes. She's trying to fucking break out of the restraint. And she's looking deep into my eyes going, what the fuck is going on? What are you doing to me? And in the back of your head, you're half thinking like, is this going to fuck her up for life? Like, is this going to cause some fucking serious scars? Because I'm holding her so she cannot move at all. And she's screaming, crying. And when she opens her mouth, I'm jamming a bottle in there. And just looking into her little innocent eyes, you can tell she doesn't know how to speak or anything yet, but you can tell she's communicating with this look. She's saying, this is really fucked up. You should probably stop doing this. And I'm saying, I'm sorry, but I got to do it. It's for your own good, baby. Just drink the fucking milk so I don't have to jam it down your throat. Can you just do that? Just drink the fucking milk. Take the bottle. But she doesn't want to. So this lasts for like 10 minutes. Me restraining her and her fucking wailing. And it was harrowing. It was harrowing for fucking both of us. And then afterwards, I think she forgave me. I'm like, sorry, little girl. I just had to do it. I'm sorry. And she gave me like a little frown just going, yeah, like, all right. But both of us know that was fucked. And I'm like, yeah, that was pretty fucked. Anyway, I put her back to sleep. And usually she fucking just wakes up every half an hour or so. And so she woke up again at 3:30. That is usually her fucking feed time. And she started crying a little bit and just went back to sleep. And she did the same thing at 5:30 as well, which was her next feed. She got up, started crying, started wriggling around, and then just went back to sleep. I think what happened was she was so tormented by that 1:30 feed that when she woke up at 3:30, she was like, fuck that. I'm not going through that shit again. I'm just going to go back to sleep. I'm going to ride this out until I see mum again. Fuck this guy and his parenting. But that's a step in the right direction. That's one feed a night. That's what it should be. See? People with feelings and emotions, they wouldn't have been able to look into their daughter's eyes while she's screaming and crying and shove a bottle in there just to fill her stomach. But if you want to make progress, you've got to be able to do that. That is generally how progress is made, by emotionless sociopaths. So she went back to sleep. She woke up a few more times. She woke up for good at 8 o'clock, and that was it. I got a better night's sleep than I did the night before, but she's still moving and making noises and shit, so I'm waking up at every sound and every noise. So I still got a fucked sleep, and I have been completely fucked today. I can't do 2 all-nighters in a row. I haven't been able to speak a word to anyone today. When I don't get good sleep now, it's like I'm hungover. I just want to be by myself in a room, light off, and not speak or interact with anyone. So hopefully tonight I get a good night's sleep, because I have not made the mistake of offering to do it again tonight. Anyway, that is it for tonight. If you're enjoying the podcast, share it around with your friends, and I'll see you the fuck later.